Welcome back, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. Got another one here. Who do you like between Clemson and Ohio State? And then who do you like in the national championship game? Our producer, Steve, and I were talking about this off air. I actually liked Clemson coming into this game. I like the matchup between these two teams. I think Clemson and Ohio State are both really talented, and they're both super deep. But I had a little bit more faith in Clemson's quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and that faith is starting to show. He actually threw a touchdown pass to Travis Etienne, and Clemson's ahead 21-16. So kind of making me look good in my thoughts about that. If Clemson does advance to the national championship game, Clemson and LSU, I like LSU, honestly. I think even if it was LSU and Ohio State, I'd probably still take LSU. LSU's that good. Joe Burrow just looked absolutely ridiculous today, and he's been doing that all season long. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Harold in Pittsburgh. Harold, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Do we not have Harold? Okay, we lost Harold. Let's try Neil. Neil, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I just wanted to hear your thoughts. Like, if you ask any old NHL player, they'll tell you that they were only able to do what they could do because they had enforcers on the ice. Like, you see, Gretzky wouldn't even go to L.A. without McSorley.
Right.
Do you think Crosby got cheated in his career for never having somebody like that?
Well, thanks for the call. I have two minds about this. One tells me that they did bring in a couple different guys at different times that were supposed to be enforcers, not only for Sidney Crosby, but for other players on the team too, because the Penguins weren't really known as that kind of physical bunch. And it never really manifested anything because you had the George Larocques of the world and the Ryan Reeves and those guys and Eric Goddard. You had all those guys here. And did it really change anything? I don't think it really did. I don't think it really helped as far as deterring people. How many playoff series with Washington and the Islanders and all these other teams that still came around just trying to knock guys' heads off? I don't know if it mattered. They tried to bring guys in. I think they really tried to make it work, and I don't know if it really worked. I mean, I believe Aaron Asham was here at one point. It never really seemed to manifest itself to be that kind of deterrent that maybe was expected to be. And I don't know if that's really fair or unfair to Sid, but it pretty much is what it is at this point as far as who we saw come through here and try to be that outlet. Now, granted, they were never really firmly cemented on the same line like Marty McSorley was with Wayne Gretzky. It's not that kind of dynamic, but they brought those guys in to try to be deterrents, and they really weren't. I mean, it wasn't as proactive as it was reactive. I don't know if it really mattered. And then you saw just a couple questionable moves. And one of those things, the Ryan Reeves trade, for instance, that happened after you had built this team that was based on speed and skill and won you back-to-back Stanley Cups. And all of a sudden you want to become a tougher, more aggressive, more physical team because you're getting pushed around too much. But you got pushed around enough to score enough goals and win a championship. So what's the line you draw there? What's the balance there? It's really hard to understand between those two sides of it. So I feel like they tried their best. It just didn't work. I think they tried to put guys around Sid that could be potential enforcers or try to be deterrents, and it just didn't work. I don't fault them for trying, but I do wonder if maybe it might have cost them some things, especially in Ryan Reeves' case. It might have cost them something that might have made them a better overall team, trying to fit one thing and trying to satisfy one need that might not have been as necessary over the long course. In the meantime, we are out of time. Here's what we're going to do. Of course, join us over on KDKA for KDKA News at 11. We'll have Penguins highlights. We'll have Penn State highlights. We'll have LSU and Oklahoma. We got college football playoff. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk Steelers as well, even some college basketball. So plenty of stuff to talk about over on KDKA. Make the jump and join me over there. In the meantime, for our producer, Steve Benko, and our crew here at Pittsburgh CW, I'm Josh Taylor. Thanks, everybody, for calling. I should say thanks for watching. Thanks for your calls. Thanks for your tweets. I say often it's you guys that makes this show great, and we're here for you 7 days a week on the Island Contracting Nightly Sports Call powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. In the meantime, see you next week. Hope you have a great weekend, and Happy New Year.